Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Four Star Sports Show. The Brady Bunch is back. All six of us are in the room today. Sunday, April 18th. We got a lot of sports going on. We just had a great interview with Keelan Lawson Sr. Just a few minutes ago. Great getting to pick his brain with everything college basketball. But let's move on to our weekly show. Welcome, everybody. John Starvitz in here, Ray McKenna, Brandon Bumgar, Aaron Smith, Christian Johnson. We're all back. Four Star Nation, welcome back. Thank you, everybody watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all y'all. We love y'all. Thank y'all. Let's get right into it. Some spring football games went on over the weekend. Christian, I'll start with you. You were at the Arkansas spring game yesterday, went live for the Four Star Nation a little bit until you got some quarrels with Facebook, but whatever. Christian, let's talk a little bit about that spring game. I guess the question for all Arkansas fans after Felipe Franks left, moved on to the NFL draft, the question is who's going to be quarterback? I thought KJ looked pretty good, but man, I thought Hornsby really surprised me yesterday. Can you give us a little rundown of that spring game?
Yeah, I mean, after watching that game, I'm optimistic about both of those guys. KJ clearly is the number one, but I still think he's got to earn that job. I don't think it's just a given. Hornsby can play, if he needs to. He can step up and play. So yeah, KJ looked good early, but hey, Hornsby led the red team back and won the game. So that was encouraging to see, and even some more of the guys. Renfro looked good. I think one of them was Lucas Coley, maybe.
Yeah.
He looked good. He looked okay, but clearly Hornsby and Jefferson, the number 1 and 2 guys. Obviously Treylon Burks is the best player on that team, and he, made some good catches. The deep ball looked good. KJ and Hornsby's got as a cannon. They can throw the deep ball. You put it right on the money. Now, as for the defense played really well, flying to the football, making sure tackles. So yeah, it was just a strong showing. I'm excited for next season.
Christian, when you look at the running back position for Arkansas, of course, Rakeem Boyd is now gone. Who is going to fill that, or is it going to be more of like a running back by committee?
Yeah, I think Treylon's still the number 1, and there's a couple guys in there. I can't think of their names right off the top of my head. Maybe I think one of them is Raheem Sanders. He looks kind of like a Boyd. He's kind of built like Boyd. But Treylon, going to be the number 1 back. I think you're going to see some change of pace guys in there. I think they're going to change up. I think they're going to put in 2 or 3 guys and just switch them out. That's my opinion.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I like that. Like mixing it up. I always thought Arkansas did well with multiple running backs. Heck, back in 2005, 6, 7 with the 3 guys we had in the backfield, then I hope we can find that again too. And this is one step closer to that, I feel like.
Christian, what about the defense being led by Barry Odom? Of course, he was a pretty hot commodity in the offseason. I'm pretty certain teams came after him. Arkansas ended up paying him fairly well. When you look at on the defensive side of the ball, what did you see?
I saw a lot of what we saw last year, but the guys are bigger and stronger. They're flying to the football. Catalan looked good out there. He's clearly the best player on the defense. And some of the cornerbacks played good. They got burnt a couple times, but they got burnt by our 2 best receivers. So, overall, I think the defense kind of stole the show. I think, it wasn't like a track meet. They weren't running up and down the field. And back onto the offense, the offensive line's a lot bigger this year.
Yeah.
And they look like they're blocking better, but obviously that's hard. It's hard to tell in a spring game. But
Right. Well, I mean, as you know, I mean, the spring game, the coaches, it's very bland. They run very basic stuff for the most part. They always, typically they'll try to throw in a little trick play here and there to try to get the little pop from the crowd, which is always fun. I know, was it Arkansas where the lineman scored a touchdown yesterday in the spring game? I mean, stuff like that. But all in all, yeah.
Or he had a good run. It was pretty funny, actually.
When you look at this Arkansas football team, of course, the strength of schedule ranking came out this week, and they were ranked number 1 in the country for strength of schedule. Once again, I feel like they always are. But give me a preview for Arkansas coming out of this spring game.
Yeah, I think they're gonna come out and beat Rice, and hopefully that's a game I'm gonna be at. But and then the next week we're gonna play Texas, and that's a game me and Aaron might be going to. I think we're gonna, the realist is saying 6 or 7 wins, but there's something to me that thinks that Pittman, that he can steal a couple and maybe get us to 8 wins.
Yeah.
Which that would be great considering where this program was 2 years ago.
Right.
I mean, last year we only won 3 games, but it still felt like we improved a lot,
Oh, most definitely. I mean, coming into the season last year, of course, the big hype was you bring in Felipe Franks from Florida, and I think Felipe had arguably the best year of his career last year at Arkansas. I don't know. He had a pretty good year that 1 year at Florida, but when you look at what he did last year for Arkansas, I think Felipe was a star, in all honesty. He led them back in some situations. He didn't really make a lot of plays that were negative for Arkansas. And obviously, as we know, at the quarterback position, that's key. Brand,
I saw something where he might be – they might try to make him play like a different position in the – I don't know what that would be though. I can't see him playing any other position.
I've seen like a little slot tight end type guy. I really don't know what kind of hands he has.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Christian, I got a question regarding the spring game. But like you said, Wes, real quick, regarding the schedule, they got 4 tough games in the conference in a row. Texas A&M at home, at Georgia, at Ole Miss, and then home for Auburn before they got their bye week. Christian, the question I have for spring game is how do the special teams look?
Oh, good question. We made our field goals. That looked really well, and it was very. And keep in mind, it was windy that day too.
Yeah.
And we made some good field goals. The kickoffs, a few of them sailed out of bounds, but I'm hoping that was just a win. But still, overall, I'd give the kicking, a pretty good grade. Punting wasn't great. It wasn't. But yeah, I'm hoping that they can get that worked out before the season starts. Still got 5 months to go, And on the offensive side, we did have a couple fumbles, so we got to tighten that up.
Yeah. Raymond, do you have any questions for Christian as far as the spring game is concerned?
Well, your defense and offense are looking pretty good, I have to say. I wish you all the best.
I know you're an Alabama fan, so it's kind of you can only say so much, right?
I was gonna say that is pure sarcasm from Ray when he says he wishes you all the best, because that's not true.
Did Saban get ran over on the sideline at their spring game?
Brandon, do you have any questions for Brandon? Do you have any questions for Christian as far as the Arkansas spring game is concerned?
No.
All right.
Hey, we're all,
All right.
Shut down.
Okay. All right.
you got to think
Brandon.
we have the fan first mindset. We all have that fan first mindset.
Oh, we do. We do.
If you ask me,
Brandon.
I could give two shits about Memphis. I could give two shits about Alabama. That's just the reality.
I understand, and especially LSU. We totally understand. Trust me. We're
Well,
the
I mean,
same
their
way.
spring game.
We're the same way when it comes to this thing. Brandon, when it comes to the University of Memphis, you were at the spring game. Give me a little give us the fans a little preview. Christian's not going to ask you any questions about it, but just give us a preview.
Well, the defense is going to be awesome. We had, I believe, it was 4 or 5 starters that were out on defense. They were ball hawking. Julian Barnett, the Michigan State transfer, got an interception early on in the spring game. It was a lot of fun. I'm very excited for the defensive line because it's a lot bigger. This is a bigger defense than Memphis has seen in a long time. I'd compare it to an SEC size defense. We got big boys all over the field. It was very exciting to see that because that's something that you're just not accustomed to when it comes to a non-Power 5 school, who's better than most Power 5 schools, including Arkansas. But
What did he say?
No.
I didn't hear what he said, honestly.
It's okay.
the
I heard
offense-
Arkansas. I got my antennas up. What did he say?
the
Come on.
offense-
Tell me.
He just said that he feels like Memphis is
I
better
said
than
Memphis is
Arkansas
better
football.
than Arkansas.
Not a chance. Not
Get at me when you get in the SEC. You can beat them.
All right, that's a whole nother
Win a bowl
topic for
game
a
and
whole
then
nother
talk to
day.
Wait till we play Hard Fate. Well, you'll see what happens.
I was gonna say we're gonna play in a few years. We'll
I don't even feel like arguing with a Memphis fan right now because they haven't. I mean, it's like arguing with Arkansas State.
Hey, balls right around the corner.
We're much better than Arkansas State. You lost to
I know.
Tulsa a couple years ago. Don't come at me.
much better.
Hey,
Right.
we don't look at the past.
I'm
We look
sorry.
at the
Okay,
now.
let me get back on track.
Y'all lost.
Wow.
We never lost to Tulsa. We never lost to Tulsa.
You lost to
Hey,
Louisiana
no,
Monroe,
going back
though.
to
But
the
anyway,
worst. Let me get back on track.
Hey, Alabama has two.
Smile.
Smile.
Oh yeah, Saban lost to UL Monroe.
Aaron.
No.
First year he lost
Let me
to
get
UL
back on
Monroe.
track.
Yes, he did.
Let me get
All
back
right,
on
go ahead,
track.
Brandon.
No, the offense didn't scare me. They just didn't show me what we wanted to see out of an offense. I think that the quarterback position is very much up in the air. It's still a battle. You're not going to know who the starting quarterback is up until probably the season starts, which is a good problem to have because Coach Silverfield has reiterated that his quarterback is on the roster. They just don't know who it is yet, which it's a good problem to have. You have Peter Parrish, the LSU transfer, who could come in and be awesome. And then you have Grant Gunnell, who is the Arizona transfer, the all-time passing yards and passing touchdowns leader for high school football in the state of Texas. It's really exciting. I think that Memphis, the running backs, it took them a little bit longer to get going. You also have to think, though, every school, Memphis, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Tennessee, any of those schools, during their spring games, they don't have their full rosters out there because there's kids still in the transfer portal. There's kids that are freshmen that are going to be coming in that haven't played a lick in this offense at all. But speaking of kids that have come in early, though, Shamar Nash, transfer from Arkansas, he had a pretty good spring game. Calvin Austin was doing Calvin Austin things. But Seth Hennigan, the freshman quarterback who is coming in from Texas, who looks like he's about 6 years old, has the babiest of baby faces. The kid is a baller. He just goes out there and he slings it. He looked really good. I'm excited for the future of Memphis football.
Who's the favorite in that conference this year?
In the AAC?
Yeah.
There really isn't a favorite right now. It's going to be between Memphis, UCF, and Cincinnati.
Oh yeah. I forgot about Cincinnati for some reason.
What about Tulsa? Is Tulsa in that conversation?
No.
Tulsa lost
Did
a
they
lot
lose
of
too much?
players this past year.
Mm-hmm.
My girlfriend
Tulsa
maybe
lost a
go.
lot
My
of
girlfriend
players
might be
last year.
going to Tulsa. Going to Tulsa. I may check out some of their games.
Your girlfriend or fiance?
Yeah, fiance. Yeah, I gotta get used to
Yeah.
saying fiance. My fiance.
But no, congratulations, by the way, Christian. No, I wasn't trying to sound like a dick. That was just some banter, you know. I like talking trash, but no.
I'm gonna watch it.
I think Memphis-
Is it at? All right, go ahead.
I like Memphis. I like the future where Silverfield has the program headed. The kicking game was a little iffy, but we have a 5-star kicker coming in the summer. I believe he was like the number 2 or number 3 overall kicker in the class of 2021. So I'm really excited to see what the future holds for Memphis. If I'm giving a prediction right now, just based off of the spring game, Memphis should lose no more than 3 to 4 games. But their schedule absolutely favors them, so I don't see why they would lose 3 or 4. But yeah, I really enjoyed being out there. It brought a sense of normalcy to a lot of people. We were able to tailgate.
Nice.
There were people that I didn't see all football season last year at games that I got to see for the first time in over a year. You know, it was just a really.
What was the weather like?
Um,
What was the weather like? That
it was overcast and a little chilly out there, but
yeah, there was nobody
nice. It
tailgating.
was nice to see. It was nice to see people out there, though. Almost all the NFL guys that have come from Memphis were there. Anthony Miller, Antonio Gibson, Chris Claybrooks, Hall of Famer Isaac Bruce. All those guys were out there, and it was just good to see them involved in the program as well, because they're the ones who helped lay this foundation to where Memphis wants to be as a program and where they have been recently. Including the Cotton Bowl, the Conference Championship, the Montgomery Bowl last year, everything like that. So, yeah, I'm not going to keep ranting and raving on about it, but yeah, it was a really cool experience, and I had a good time.
And one more thing about the Memphis game is I happened to catch the hype video for this year. It is absolutely awesome. It's narrated by D'Angelo Williams. Anybody out there watching it, if y'all want to catch a really good hype video for a football team, check out the 2021 version for the University of Memphis. It's great. Go ahead, John.
We'll share it on the page on the 4-Star Sports Show Facebook page after the interview. We'll share it on the 4-Star Sports Show Facebook page.
Yeah. Well,
Brendan, you brought up the defense as well. I want to bring up a player that a lot of people like talking about also that had a lot of success last year toward the end of the year. Don't forget about those Rodney Owens as well at linebacker.
Rodney Owens had an interception at the very beginning of the game.
Right.
Old Hot Rod, number 30. The kid's a stud, man. That secondary that Silverfield has built right now, Memphis has never seen a secondary like it. The last few years, including the year we went to the Cotton Bowl, our secondary was one of those that they get a guy past the midfield and they'd bust cover, or they'd bust the coverage and we'd give up the big play. That's another thing I didn't see out of Memphis. They didn't give up a lot of big plays. I think they only gave up like 2 big plays the whole night, which was exciting to see because I'm so used to seeing Memphis give up the big play and it just pisses me off. But yeah, there was just a dominance right there with the defense, and as you said, Rodney Owens is a leader on that defense now. After a year under his belt, he had an awesome year this past year playing here, and I'm excited to see it. Like I said, the defense is big, like physically big, and it's exciting to see.
Wes, don't forget about John Tate coming back as well this year. Coming up.
Yeah, that's a big addition, and also the lineman that we picked up from Cincinnati, I think, is going to be a huge addition to that offensive line. I believe he was up for National Center of the Year. So he's
Jaquari
not a
Robertson?
scrub. Yes, he's not a scrub at all. That big old boy can play.
Yeah, he's more than likely going to be your starting center. He's not on campus yet, just because he was in the transfer portal. He'll be here during the summer, but that's a huge addition for Coach Silverfield, because you do have a few questions on your offensive line about which position who is going to play, and you have the Michigan State Devontae Dobbs transfer. You have TCU. I can't remember his name. I apologize. You have his transfer coming in from TCU. You have Jaquari Robinson coming in from Cincinnati. Dylan Parham's returning. It's very exciting, and I've just never seen this much movement in Memphis football, and it really excites me. So it's gonna be a lot to keep up with, but we're gonna keep going with it and see where it goes. And 2 years from now, when we're in Fayetteville just stomping a mud hole in Arkansas, I can point back to this and just be like, "Hey, that was so much fun to watch this team grow and become this team that just absolutely embarrassed Arkansas in front of 60 or 70,000 fans at their home stadium."
I don't even think they're on our schedule. That'd be kind of hard. Is there?
Oh, yeah, they're on the schedule for 3 years coming up. 2024.
It'd be fun whooping some Memphis ass.
Huh?
That would be fun whooping some Memphis butt.
Yeah. Because
Who
keep
knows?
in mind, Memphis is not the only one going to improve in 3 years. Arkansas still has some work to do, so good luck.
Oh,
Yep.
very true. Oh, it's going to be a battle, especially in
Sound
my
like
house.
Tennessee fans right now.
It's going to be a battle, especially in my house for sure. When you look at this spring football season, I think there's a lot of questions all around the country. One of which, Raymond, is who's going to be the quarterback down in Alabama. Who do you think will be the quarterback for your Alabama Crimson Roll Tide?
Bryce Young.
You think so?
I think it's Bryce Young. He had a very good outing, a spring game yesterday, although the defense won 13-10. Everyone showed their all, and
Okay, Ray, I got yeah. What about
Alabama's
Ty
gonna
Simpson?
be really good. Go ahead, John.
What about Ty Simpson? Did he get any looks at all, or?
I think they're going to go with Bryce Young because I believe he's a sophomore or a rich sophomore. I will check his file, but Bryce Young, I think, is the starting quarterback as right now for Alabama.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting. Of course, there's question marks all around the country. Spring football is underway. The FCS playoffs were announced today. The FCS playoffs are getting ready to start. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, yes.
There's just North Dakota State is not the number one team. James Madison's the number one team in the country, but they're a 3 seed in the tournament. It's all very weird to me, but it's going to be fun to watch. John, let's talk a little MLB baseball. When we look at the baseball right now in the on the AL East side, you've got the Boston Red Sox at 10-5. They're 8-2 in the last 10. AL Central, you got the Kansas City Royals right now sitting at 9-5. Anaheim Angels are winning out west, sitting at 8-5. National League, you've got the New York Mets sitting at 6-4 right now in the AL East. AL Central, Cincinnati Reds are sitting at 9-6. The NL West, the LA Dodgers are sitting at 13-2. Good Lord, they're killing everybody. John, when we talk about MLB, give me some teams that you are kind of surprised at their beginning.
My surprise right now in the National League, I would go with maybe the Giants at 9-6 overall right now. 7-3 in their last 10. They've been playing some decent ball as of late, but they're 4 games back of the Dodgers right now in the West. The American League, I'm kind of surprised the way that the Yankees have fell apart recently. I know their starting pitching is the biggest concern right now, other than their ace. So the Yankees are falling apart right now as we speak. So those are my kind of two big disappointments right now. But I gotta give props to the Oakland Athletics right now. They're playing pretty hot baseball, and so is the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, if you look at Oakland, they're 8-2 in the last 10, 4-1 on the road, 4-6 at home, and they're just one game back from the Angels in that chase out west. Kristen, when you look at the National League, let's talk a little bit about your Cubbies. 3-7 last 10, 6-8 overall. Only 2.5 games back of the Reds. Talk a little bit about the Cubs season so far.
Yeah, it's been disappointing so far, but I'm trying to stay positive. It's early. We have pretty much the same players on the offensively that we did in the World Series. The year we won the World Series, so I don't understand why we haven't put it together yet. But time will tell. Us. I think that division's going to be bad again. Honestly, I hope I'm wrong. It's anybody's division at this point. I mean, nobody's playing great baseball. The Reds will do what the Reds do. I mean, they'll play good. They'll probably fizzle out later in the year, but I don't know, man. This not looking good so far for my team. But,
Hey man, you ain't got to tell me nothing. I'm a White Sox fan. We're sitting at 7-8 right now with all that talent on the field. I mean,
I don't get
2.5 games back of the Royals right now. Our pitching's got issues. I mean, you've got all these aces that can come out and throw, and then you bring in the bullpen and they just suck the life out of you watching them. I mean, it's just Mercedes has been fun to watch. I mean, of course, we've got some hot bats, but I mean, very similar to the Cubs. You just got to start putting some wins together. But like you said, Christian, it's very early in the season. Bum. Let's talk a little bit about your St. Louis Cardinals. Brandon, I don't know where he is.
He said next question. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
No.
next question.
I can speak of St. Louis for a second. St. Louis Cardinals to me. Okay, I was gonna say St. Louis is struggling with Carlos Martinez, but go ahead, Brandon.
St. Louis is not struggling with Carlos Martinez. St. Louis is struggling with learning how to hit the ball
Yeah, so
and
the Phillies,
pitching.
they won today, which is a good thing, but we haven't.
what?
What?
Oh yeah, guys, I got one thing to say about today's game. Go Phillies!
Yep. I'm rooting for the Phillies too, just because Cardinals are in our division.
Yeah, I mean when you look at the Phillies right now, I mean they're 4-6 in the last 10, but they're only sitting a half game back from the Mets. Now the Mets have only played 10 games, where everybody else has played a lot more. They had the COVID at the very beginning with the Washington Nationals, and then they've also had a couple of games rained out. That Mets team, they're a pretty good little baseball team. I mean, I'm not taking anything from them. This is going to be a fun baseball season. Of course, this year we get the full stretch. We get the full season of MLB, and I'm really looking forward to it. When you look at the college baseball side of things, John, let's talk a little bit about college baseball, man. Go ahead.
You can go first. What do you think about it so far this weekend?
Well, I mean, when you look at a team, of course, I follow the Arkansas Razorbacks with my wife being an Arkansas fan. Just talk about Arkansas a little bit. They've had some really good series against Ole Miss recently. They've been ranked top 1, top 2 all season. But what really surprises me about this college baseball season is some of these games that are midweek that these teams are kind of overlooking, and then they end up slipping up and getting beat. I really enjoy watching the underdogs around the nation get a chance to go into some of these big schools and play on the road, and then turn around and get a win. I think that's good for the parity of college baseball. I think it'll help a lot in the long run. Like, take for example, I know Arkansas Pine Bluff did not beat Arkansas in baseball, but it was nice to see Arkansas Pine Bluff come to Baum Stadium and play Arkansas in baseball. Same thing with Central Arkansas.
You know, the
Wait,
games. Yeah.
Sorry,
Go ahead,
Go ahead, Aaron.
but didn't like Little Rock come to Fayetteville a couple years ago and win too?
Yeah.
Kind of like what you were talking
Yeah,
about
they-
middle of the week.
They beat us like one game or something, but it was like a blowout. One of those fluke.
Oh yeah, like right now.
That was the year I think that was the year we went to the College World Series.
Mhm.
Like,
Well, wasn't there like a couple years in a row we went to the World Series?
Yeah, y'all had a stretch.
I
where
can't
y'all went
remember.
for a few years.
I remember the game.
Oh, it doesn't matter. We can move on.
You know, the
Um,
series.
I mean, you know, when you look at just college baseball landscape around the country, it's really fun to watch a lot of these teams. Some teams are struggling. You know, I mean, you know, you look at the Memphis Tigers right now, for example. They're struggling to say the least. When you look at, you know, a team like Vanderbilt, Tennessee's having a pretty good season. Vanderbilt's having a great year.
Yeah, Tennessee's I would say they're not really a surprise, but you know, the most improved team or something. Like they're just, you know, they lost the series to Vandy, but Vandy's a really good team.
Mhm.
They absolutely demolished Jack Leiter, which that surprised me. But
Yeah,
it showed me that, you know, at least he's hittable, you know. And I'm really worried about Vandy. I'm really worried about, you know, as an Arkansas fan, if we get to the World Series and we play Vandy, we can hit as good as anybody. But when you're facing guys like that, like Kumar Rocker and Leiter, who might go 1 and 2 in the draft, that's how good they are.
yeah,
That's
very
crazy.
true.
That's on the same team, and they probably gonna go 1 and 2 in the draft.
May very well do it. John, speaking of drafts,
Well, I was going to say,
go ahead.
Wes, you totally asked about college baseball real quick, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, Evan Russell, 4 home runs in the last 2 ball games for Tennessee. He hit 3 home runs yesterday in general off Vanderbilt's pitching staff. But a good series. I want to give some Georgia Tech some love. Georgia Tech took 2 out of 3 at Virginia Tech over the weekend. So
Yeah.
kudos to Georgia Tech and the ACC. I mean, like you said, Wes, college baseball, everybody has played so much good baseball up to date where anybody can beat anybody on a given day. But the top 25 this year is all up for grabs, no matter. See, another thing is, I wish the NCAA would do is basically have regional sites. Like, you know, but they're not going to even do that this year. They're going to probably have it like at a bubble, which to me, I like home field advantage. I like the 9,000 people in the stands in Oxford. I like the 9,000 people in Starkville. I like the 9,000 people in Fayetteville. I love the atmospheres because anybody can still beat anybody on a given day in the regionals.
Yeah,
I agree with that, but as far as the bubble is concerned, I feel like we've seen with the NCAA tournament, with the NBA Finals last year, with the NHL hockey Stanley Cup last year that was in a bubble. I feel like in order for these tournaments to take place, and it may change once everyone becomes vaccinated, I don't know, but I feel like right now in the environment that we're in, the bubble is the only way to make sure that these tournaments are going to take place and nothing happen.
Well, that's a good point because I got a question regarding vaccination real quick before we go to a different topic. Are y'all in favor of, like, I know some, like the Buffalo Bills, I believe they had to show a vaccination card for you to go into those sporting events. What do y'all think about that? Are y'all in favor of that when it comes fall? Or
In my opinion,
maybe for now, but I don't. If you have to do that for like years to come, I'm not in favor of that.
So
I
Hopefully
think
I like it for this season. This season only, do it. For the safety, that way we can continue on. But beyond this season, drop it, you know?
Yeah.
In my opinion, for right now, I think it's going to be done, and it's going to be done in ways that are probably going to ruffle some people's feathers. And I get that, but at the same time, I mean, for example, I know people that are getting the vaccine strictly for their job purposes. People in outside sales, people in transportation like myself, where you got to go into plants and things of that nature. Those plants are going to require you to have that, not for just your safety, but for their safety as well. So, I mean, I understand it. Concerts, sporting events, it's going to happen. We're going to have to get used to it. Airports, exactly. It's going to happen. I don't think it's going to become, oh, you can't go into freaking Kroger without a vaccination card. No, I don't think that'll happen. But I think for right now, it's the right way to do it.
I would rather just show that instead of having to get tested.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, tested on the spot. I'd rather do that than get tested on the spot.
Right. And I mean, that's the whole purpose of it, I believe. But yeah, John, that's a very good question. Yeah, I definitely think right now in the quote unquote COVID era, for the safety of everybody, we're gonna have to do it probably just for one season. Yeah. When you look at, speaking of the draft, Christian, like I said a minute ago, when you look at the pretty important little draft coming up next week, starting on Thursday night, the NFL draft will begin. Beginning on, I think it starts at like 7. It'll be on NFL Network, ABC, ESPN, ESPN2 Plus, Ocho, 25, everything it'll be on. When you look at the NFL draft, of course, Trevor Lawrence, I think, is obviously going to be the unanimous number one. In my opinion, that is a great fit for Urban Meyer in his first year back, or in his first year in the pros. I think if you look at that Jacksonville team and what they've got built already, Trevor Lawrence is going to fit pretty well. In my opinion, there'll be 4 consecutive quarterbacks taken in the draft. Just to give a preview, I know I'm not, nobody else is doing this, but I think, in my opinion, it'll be Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, number 2. And I think Zach Wilson will be a great fit at number 2. Number 3, I think that it's going to be Justin Fields going to the 49ers. I think when you look at Justin Fields, he is tailor-made for that Shanahan offensive style. And I think that that's going to be a beautiful fit with him. Number 4, it may surprise some people, but I think Trey Lance is going to go to Atlanta. The kid from North Dakota State. I think if you look at the past drafts, if you sit a guy out a couple of years and let him learn, a la an Aaron Rodgers, I think it's the same thing. The same thing that happened to Aaron Rodgers when he got to the league is happening to him right now, because I think it's the same thing they're doing with Jordan Love in Green Bay. If you look at Matt Ryan will probably play for another 1 or 2 years, something like that. So you bring a guy in like Trey Lance with the talent that he has. I think it's going to be a nice fit. But John, go ahead. Yeah, y'all can talk NFL draft, but I just want to give my quick little synopsis of the top 4 picks. Go ahead, John.
No, I'll let Ray go first. Where does he think Mac Jones will go?
Mac Jones?
Yeah, quarterback from Bama, yeah.
Oh, okay. So fond memories of him. But I think Mac Jones, it's really tough right now because you have the top 4, and then you have Mac Jones, who is number 5. So I really believe he's going to be round 1. I think he's going to be like midway through the first round.
Man, I've seen some picks having the top 5. That's why I'm asking. Like, do you see him being a better fit in San Francisco, or do you see him in a better fit in Atlanta?
I see him as a better fit in New England.
I see him better than Atlanta. Better pick than definitely. Take it back.
He goes to New England.
So you get New England trading up west with the pick?
I do. I've got the Patriots taking him at the number 8 pick. I think that if you look at Mac Jones and you look at Bill Belichick, I think that's a marriage made in heaven. I mean, because let's be honest, Mac Jones can make the throws. Mac Jones is still fairly athletic, but
It's kind of like Brady was.
Exactly. That's what I was just getting ready to say, Christian. If you look at Mac Jones coming out of Alabama, and you look at Tom Brady, I mean, yes, Brady was a 7th-round pick. It's not what I'm getting at here. But why would you not take Mac Jones? He's a proven winner in Nick Saban, and you know, in that Steve Sarkisian offense, he's going to ask a lot out of you. And then you go to New England, and you've got Bill Belichick, who's a genius. But then, who's the offensive coordinator but Josh McDaniels? And I mean, I think if you look at Josh McDaniels as a coach, he's proven he can work with numerous quarterbacks, numerous styles. I just think, and this is just my opinion, if it happens, great. We can go back to this video and say I was right. I think the New England Patriots will take Mac Jones with the number 8 pick. Go ahead, Christian. I can tell you're itching to say something.
I can see that. No, I mean, I feel like that's what the Patriots need is like, you know, they need a quarterback, and Cam Newton's not it. He's not.
No.
I mean, I hate to say it, but he may be one of those players that just had like a couple good years and then never hear about him again. Which I never would have thought. I never would have thought that. You know, I thought, you know, after he made it to the Super Bowl, I thought he'd be like here to stay. But crazy to me how you can be a Super Bowl quarterback and then fall off like that.
Yeah, of course, when he was in Carolina, you know, he had some injuries. Then of course, he goes to a New England team that I feel like was pretty depleted of talent before he even got there. Honestly, I feel bad for Cam Newton. I like Cam Newton as a quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback. He's got to work on. He's not young anymore. He can't play like he did when he first got in the league. And I think that's a change that in today's football, a lot of these mobile athletic style quarterbacks have to learn is that I can't play that way my entire career. I have to evolve my game as my body evolves.
I mean, I think Cam Newton just doesn't fit Josh McDaniels' system, but that's just me.
I think Josh McDaniels did a good job with using Cam Newton's strengths last season.
Ran the ball too much. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got to run the ball in the NFL. You can't. You have to be extremely balanced in the NFL because you've got defensive coordinators that have been doing this for 30 years. They've seen everything. I mean, You know what I mean when I say that? I mean, you've got to kind of play chess while they're playing checkers.
But he's not Lamar Jackson.
No, he never was Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a generational talent.
Guys, give me 2 players that could surprise people in the first round. And whoever wants to go first.
I think a guy like Jace Horn, the cornerback out of South Carolina. It wouldn't shock me if like a Browns team didn't pick him up pretty quick. I've got him going at the number 9 slot. Another one is the Cincinnati Bengals. I think if you look at them, of course, a lot of your mock drafts have them getting Jamar Chase from LSU, a guy that Joe Burrow played with. In my opinion, I've got them taking the offensive tackle out of Oregon. What's his name? Sewell, whatever his name is. I've got them taking him just because his versatility. I mean, you can take the left tackle that's there now, move him to right tackle. He's young. He just came in a couple of years ago. You can plug that brand new guy, Sewell, who's I think one of the top offensive linemen in the league, and you bring him in, and then you protect Joe Burrow with your first pick to keep him upright. I think if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, you've got to keep Joe Burrow upright this season to have a chance to be the successful team that you want to be. I could be totally wrong. They could take a wide receiver. If I was them, I would go ahead and protect the quarterback with the best offensive lineman in the draft and then you got 6 more rounds, or you can make trades, whatever, to get the other pieces that you want to put around
Right.
Burrow.
So, oh yeah.
Right.
So it's hard for me to miss out on the what do you call that, Heisman winner like Devontae Smith. I feel like if I haven't looked at all the charts and stuff, but if the Bengals do pick a wide receiver, I feel like it would be Devontae Smith in the first round, and I feel like that would surprise some people. And then also like I got, so I'll have Trevor Lawrence at first, but I don't know. I just
Speaking of
feel like,
Devontae Smith,
like the top 4, like I feel like Devontae Smith will be up there in the top.
I've
4.
got him going
Contradict-
6. Yeah,
or 6. Okay, gotcha.
I've got him going 6 to Miami, which would put him
Oh.
back with Tua, which I
Oh,
feel
no,
like
that
would be a
would be-
nice connection, and that would give Tua an automatic weapon right now in the draft.
Yes. That would be ideal. But yeah, Devontae Smith, I feel like, will do good at Miami. So yeah, that would be my player. So second one, I can't wait to see Trevor Lawrence under Urban Meyer in the league. I think that'll be exciting. Now, it may take a couple years, like which I hate that language, like couple years this, couple years that. Of course, like any fan, I want it now. I want to see it successful right now, this second. But I feel like we're going to see a bad Jacksonville team the next couple of years, and then they're going to hopefully shift into gear and get themselves into the playoffs and stuff.
I think the Jacksonville team. Hold on one second, Ray. I think that Jacksonville team can surprise some people.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you've got 4 years. You've got film on him from college, but you don't. And you've got all these years, Bowling Green, everywhere that Urban Meyer's been. But there's no telling what he's going to throw out on the field. I mean, we know what he's done in his college days. You know what I mean? But the game's evolved just in the short time Urban's been gone.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested. I think that's a great point. I'm very interested to see. I think that's a match made in heaven. Urban and Trevor Lawrence. And I think it's a no-brainer that he's going there. I mean, they might as well go ahead and just do the press conference now because he's going there. But Ray, when you look at this NFL draft, give us like Johnson, give us a couple of players that you think may be a surprise.
Well, Jalen Waddle, with the injury that he had last year against Tennessee, he may go. Right now, a lot of indicators are pointing toward the Eagles to pick him up.
Be a nice pickup for the Eagles.
Because
He's
the
talented.
Eagles do need a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about Jalen Waddle that nobody's really talked about is before his injury, Devontae Smith wasn't the man on that team. It was Jalen Waddle. I mean, if Jalen Waddle doesn't go down, I don't know that Devontae Smith wins the Heisman.
Maybe Jalen Waddle wins the Heisman.
Exactly. Do you agree with that statement, Ray?
If he totally.
Because wasn't he like the fastest
Mac Jones
guy
would probably
in
finish top
college
3.
football or something? Or football, pretty much. Jalen Waddle was like, they were talking about his speed.
One of
like,
them.
He was
One of
crazy
them.
fast.
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah.
Who's your other player, Ray?
Well, there's some other people that may have a. I don't know exactly, but they may have an impact. But let me go ahead and take a look here at the latest mock that came out.
Without cheating, Ray. Come on.
Yeah.
Here we go. So, Landon Dickerson, he may go to the Steelers at number 24.
Yeah. It's going to be a very interesting
So,
draft. Of course,
definitely.
Thursday night's round 1. Friday night will be round 2 and round 3. And then Saturday will be 4 through 7. I always really kind of enjoy watching that Saturday, just because you still get a chance to see these young men fulfill their dream, whether it's round 3 or round 7 or round 1 for that matter. You get these young men and their families. You get that raw emotion of the moment when they realize they are now in the NFL. I think that's a moment because, as we know, there's a small percentage that make the NFL. There's a large number of players that play collegiate athletics. So it's always fun. I always enjoy the NFL draft. But like I said, I enjoy the beginning, but I enjoy the end more. That's just my personal, deal on it. Go ahead, John.
Here's my 2 players. First one, Kyle Pitts from Florida. The way he showed out in that pro day at Florida with that 40 time, and just recovered from his injury as well. There's talk that he might be going to the Cowboys in their first round pick. So the Cowboys pick him up. That's a good weapon to have at tight end, for Dak Prescott to come back on.
I've got him going to the Cowboys with the number 10 pick.
And then another one I see is Elijah Moore from Ole Miss, the wide receiver. Could surprise some people in the first round and maybe go to the Titans. And another weapon for Ryan Tannehill at quarterback.
Yeah.
So with AJ Brown and Elijah Moore combination, look out for the Titans. If they're able to pick up a receiver, I think the thing that concerns Tennessee right now is still their defense. They lost so many players, the free agency in the defense. So they need like another corner, another linebacker, or something like that in the first round. If I'm Tennessee, I know I'd love to see Elijah Moore in a Tennessee Titan uniform, but your need in the first round is defense, not offense this year.
If I'm the Tennessee Titans and Rondale Moore from Purdue is available, I'm drafting him because I think he is a Tyreek Hill type athlete. I think if you look at this draft defensively, this is a very deep draft. You've got a lot of guys that can really play the defensive positions. I think the Titans, and like I said, I could be completely wrong. I think the Titans will take a Rondale Moore and Elijah Moore, like John said, somebody that's a weapon. Get them first because the weapons I think in this draft are not going to be around very long. Another guy that I think will be a sleeper whenever he's picked up is Kenneth Gainwell from the University of Memphis. I've seen some mocks that has him going, mid to late second. I've seen some that has him going third and fourth. But I think he'll be a threat, whoever picks him up. But yeah, guys, it's been a great show.
What about the boxing match last night?
Oh yeah, the fake boxing match. All right, did anybody watch that garbage last night? Oh my goodness, it was a waste of money for everybody that watched it. Logan Johns, the whatever dude's name is, the little boxer guy that was on WrestleMania a couple weeks ago with Sami Zayn. He knocked dude out, quote unquote, knocked him out first round, like 6 seconds into the fight. It was just it was thrown. It was terrible. But anyway, yeah, it was a great show. Thank you to John. Yeah, go ahead, Brad.
I want to make a correction to that. The NFL draft on Thursday, April 29th. So less than 2 weeks away now.
Sorry, I apologize. It's 2 weeks away.
Well, that is
Thursday
week,
coming out.
No, I wish it was this Thursday.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Thank you for that correction.
Can I say a birthday shout out to your lovely wife over there?
Yes, thank you, John. I also want to give a quick shout out to my lovely wife. She turned 30 years old today. She's actually taking a nap right now. But happy birthday to my amazing wife, Bree Pruitt. I love you very much. But yeah, it's been a great show. Thank you to John, Ray, Aaron, Christian, Brandon, everybody that was on. Thank you to everybody watching. Once again, this is 4 Star Sports Show. Thanks, guys.